Don't you fear, we're never alone when Allah's so near. Hush little baby, breathing so calm. He'll protect us all and keep us from harm. Hush little baby, still and serene. You are a Muslim, Islam's your deen. Hush little baby, pure and small.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear viewers and students everywhere, we are going to talk about a new episode, a new topic today, although it's linked in a way with other topics, but it's new topic here. It's about how to learn Arabic effectively, or how to teach Arabic effectively. As you've noticed that we began with the quality of good teaching, we moved to how to apply this to Islamic subjects, and we focused very specifically in the last 6 episodes about how to teach Quran effectively. Now we are going to talk about how to teach Arabic effectively. And if you still have some questions from the past, you can inject them. Let me first open the floor for this. What is Arabic? Is a language, like any other language. What is a language? When we say a language, what does it mean to you? What is a language?
It's a mode or a means of communication.
A means of communication, okay?
A language is a set of words which is governed by rules of grammar. Language is a medium to put your message across so that people may understand.
The common and simplest definition of the language is the first definition that we heard. It's simply a means of communication. But this simple definition is very difficult for teachers to understand, by the way, or to apply in their life. You find that we use this, we define the language, but when we go to classrooms and we find the textbooks and we find what the teachers are doing is totally different from them. So let's imagine, to understand this, let's imagine a scenario that a classroom, the teacher is teaching Alif, Arnab, Ba, Batta, Ta, Timsah, even if he uses some pictures or she uses some pictures. So he's giving the first letter, the alphabet. He's teaching, or she is teaching, the alphabet. And in another situation, another class, the teacher is focusing on conversation without introducing the alphabet. All the lesson goes into, for example, qalam, هذا qalam, هذا qalam, خذ القلم, هات القلم, اكتب بالقلم, أعطني القلم, هات القلم. Do you understand anything from the last part? Did you understand anything from the first part? Alif, Arnab, Ba, Batta. Okay, so how can you describe these two situations?
You used action in the second part, which made it more easy for us to understand what you were saying, conveying the message.
Okay, what else?
Use your body language as well to communicate your message.
Yeah, we want to say focusing. Here, in the second scenario, there was communication going on. In the first one, there is no communication. I don't know what the students are learning or what the teacher is teaching, but there is no communication anyway. Do you share with me this idea? But unfortunately, in most of the schools that teach Arabic, they don't focus on the second one. It is the first one. And when you ask people all the time, why do you teach the alphabet for the students who are learning Arabic in the beginning, who are not Arabs? Can you think of an answer? Why do we teach them the alphabet in the beginning? I need an answer. Yes?
Because they are focusing on reading aspect. So when you see something written, matter, they'll be able to read.
Good. Is focusing on reading in the beginning something important, or is there anything else that's important? You can give your answer. I'm opening questions. Just think of them.
No, I know that
Think of them, put them aside. I'm going to raise many questions. I want you to think. Huh?
it's not important.
In some context, it is. I'm coming back to this. Anyway.
Yes, what I would think is that along with the reading, they also want to teach the students how to write. Hence, learning the alphabets becomes
Okay.
necessary.
Good. Why do we want to teach students how to write in the beginning?
Learning to write a language is also a part of learning the language.
It is. But why it comes first?
It is simultaneous.
Why it comes simultaneous with reading? Is there anything important than this? Ask yourself this question. What did you learn first when you learned your native language, your mother tongue? What did you learn first? Huh?
Speaking.
Speaking. No, I think you learned something before speaking.
Listening before
Yes, you learned listening. You stayed for at least a whole year plus the time that you spent in the womb of your mother listening, 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 listening. So when you started to change, you started learning what? Speaking. I think nobody started learning writing or reading before speaking. If you remember some examples, tell me. Why are we Arabic teachers doing this? I don't know. But I have the answer. I know that because we don't have specialized books, because people don't understand what we said now. But what happens is that they go and look for books that had been used by the Arabs, right? And they try to apply it to the non-Arabs, right? In other words, they take the eardrop and they use it as an eye drop. And of course, it works very well when you use it for your ear, and it becomes very harmful when you use it for your eye. This is exactly the best metaphor that I can describe the situation with. Who is the best speaker of Arabic language?
Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam.
Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. How many letters did he write in his life? Nothing. And still the people say that we want to teach writing simultaneously, philosophically, with reading, right? At the same time, yes, I'm not pinpointing to anybody, but I'm just trying to show you how critical the matter is. Why any person needs to write at early stages. You use writing now at your age. In the early days, you didn't need that at all. You communicate orally with your parents, with other children, with the other, yes, family members. Now, we're jumping the first skill, and we're jumping the second skill, and we jump to the third or to the fourth skill. And we expect the students to do well. Okay,
Sheikh, I have an objection.
please do.
As Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala revealed the first few verses of the glorious Quran from Surah Alaq,
Okay?
Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says, Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Iqra bismi rabbika
Yeah,
alladhi khalaq.
wonderful. Iqra bismi
First
rabbik.
read.
Yeah. Say it again.
Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq.
Okay.
خلق
No, that's
الإنسان
enough
من
to say.
علق.
Very good.
No, the point is
Focus.
in the third verse.
Okay.
اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم.
Very good.
So along with reading is mentioned writing.
Wonderful. But does it say that in the beginning, teach by writing? How would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say this and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam doesn't write?
It is simultaneous. That's
No.
what I'm.
No. This is far understanding, by the way. First of all, we should agree that the word iqra that's mentioned in the Quran does not mean read. Does not mean read. Jibreel alayhi salam did not bring a written text and showed it to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and asked him to read. Jibreel asked him to recite, to say what he memorized. And there was nothing that he memorized, and this was the introduction of the Quran. It does not mean read. The problem is that this word in Arabic, it has many meanings. One of the meanings, the common meaning of it, of course, is read. But it means read, and it means recite, and it means something else. So the mistake that happened in translation by saying it is read, which implies, of course, that Jibreel showed something to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to read. And this didn't happen because Jibreel didn't bring anything in writing to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it is quite obvious that 100% sure that it didn't mean read. It meant to recite. Recite what you have known from the Quran. And of course, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that I don't have anything that I memorized. I don't have anything. Anyway, So even if you don't stick to this, say that the language is, the most famous part of it is the oral communication. He used the language to make oral communication. Of course, you can make communication in writing. You can make communication in reading because you communicate with the text, right? Okay, but the obvious part of it is speaking. So speaking is the most obvious part of any language in the world. I will stop here. Inshallah, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Don't go away. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hush, little baby, breathing so calm.
Scientific notions in the glorious Quran are among its endless aspects that can testify for the divine nature of this noble book. These scientific notions are probably the best addressed to the people of our time. I am Zaghlul al-Najjar. Please join me in this program to discuss some aspects of the scientific notions in the glorious Quran.
سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق.
He created the universe to him.
Appreciate the word-to-word authenticity of scientific notions and proven facts mentioned in the glorious Quran 1400 years ago in Scientific Notions in the Glorious Quran. Every Sunday at 8 p.m. and repeat telecast at 8:30 a.m. Saudi Arabia on Peace TV.
Where truth is hidden, misleading quotations create confusion. Where truth is hidden, lack of knowledge and wisdom cause upheaval and commotion. Where truth is hidden, manipulated scriptures and twisted facts emerge. This very hidden truth creates false propaganda, mayhem, chaos, disorder, and turmoil in our lives and the world order. But is there anyone with courage and wisdom? What is the truth and who has the courage to expose it? Because it's your right to know the truth.
Watch Truth Prevail and Lies Perish in Truth Exposed by Dr. Zakir Naik every Saturday to Thursday at 9 p.m. and repeat telecast at 7:30 a.m. Saudi Arabia on Peace TV.
Hush, little baby, breathing so calm.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let's continue. I hope you enjoyed the break. Now we were talking about the most obvious aspect of any language is the oral aspect of it. Look at yourself in any day, how much you speak and how much you read and how much you write. You can see that writing is very limited. That's why in all languages, not just Arabic, not just in Indian, not just any language, the amount of writing is very little. And that's why those who are good in writing, most of them are good leaders, by the way. They have good qualities. Yes, it is true. But the aspect that's common to anyone, anyway, all of us listen. So the skill of listening is for everybody. Then the one that comes after that is the speaking. Because you listen, even if you don't speak, you still listen. If you don't speak well, you're still listening. Now what's happening in this lecture that you listen more than you speak? Perhaps I speak more than I listen, right? Okay, so now when you're listening, you're practicing the skill of listening. And then after that, you speak. I'm sure that all of you spoke more than what you have written. Just guessing. So focusing on this aspect. The mistake that happened, as I said, as I explained it, is that borrowing the texts that had been designed for the Arabs and the use of these texts exactly as they are for the non-Arabs. This is where the problem comes. And I always give this metaphor to make it clear. The ear drops to be used for the eye drops. It's drops. No, it's not drops. You see? So we have to be very accurate in this. Now I think it's time to change. Can we teach without any book? Yes, you can. In teaching modern languages, and French is one of them nowadays, the whole first year, there is no book, no pen. One whole year, just conversation. That's what I gave you the example. خذ القلم هات القلم نعم اشرب ماء أعطني الماء. That all of it practicing the language and making it a vivid life. Use it in your life. You don't need a book. You don't need to teach Alif Ba. You don't need to do any of these. Why? Because if your purpose is you want people to speak the language. And once they know how to speak the language, the other skills are easier to teach. Am I clear? Please correct me if you feel that you have a different opinion. This is the time to share your knowledge. Yes.
I would just like to support what you said just now, that speaking is very essential, because even now at grade 3, I experience this. When a subject is given to the students to write, the same grammatical mistakes that they make while speaking is reflected in their writing, because they're not fluent in conversing. They can't even form the sentence correctly while writing. So that's very true that they need to be fluent in conversing the language first. Only then they can cement their writing.
Not only that, unfortunately, we take our kids who speak our native language, Arabic, and we take them to the school, foreign schools, British school or American school. I'm not saying me, I didn't. They study Arabic and they study English. After 6 months, their English becomes better than their Arabic, which is their native language at home. It's shame on us. Shame on us. How do they do that? How could they do this? And they spend most of their time at home speaking Arabic. In less than 6 months, they perfect English more than they perfect Arabic. And they start exporting English to our homes. Our kids start teaching us and correcting our English, of course. Why? Because the teachers know how to teach. And the textbook or the curriculum that they use serve them very well to achieve the goals. There's very limited focus on writing in the early days, because writing, if you explain it, when you write the alphabet, writing the alphabet in any language has nothing to do with the language. This sounds stranger than before. The alif and the ba, these are graphic representations of sounds. They have nothing to do with it. When I say S or sa, right, it's the same sound that's used in English and in Arabic. I'm quite sure that this sound is in Indian language, right? Sa, sa, sa. It's available. Okay, in Arabic, we write it like this. In English, we write it like this. In Indian, how do you do it? It's a long story. Anyway, good. So it's a story. Anyway, so all these are graphic representation of the same sound. It's one person like you said, okay, I'm going to do it like this. Another person said, no, I'm going to do it like this. A third person said, it's graphic, it's art. Any alphabet in the world is art. It has nothing to do with the language. You know that what writing comes in any language, perhaps hundreds of years, or let's say tens of years after speaking. When they speak the language, and then after some time, okay, let's try to write it. And they start writing it. By the way, the Arabs were very smart in this. I'll ask you a question. If you get the right answer, I will have a gift for you. It's one of my books. I hope I carried them. If not, I promise that I will give it to you. Now, everybody's waiting for the prize. Good? Very simple question. In writing the alphabet of Arabic, all the letters of Arabic have something in common. There is one quality, one feature that you can trace. You can find it in all the letters of Arabic, no exception. Wait a minute, because if you give it once, so you have no other opportunity. In the writing system of the alphabet in Arabic, among all the letters in Arabic, there is one common feature. What is that, if you know?
I think that this unique thing about Arabic is that you can
No,
write the
I'm
letter.
not talking about uniqueness now.
The letter that which we write can be written without lifting the pen, continuous.
How would you write alif in Arabic?
Just one single line.
No, you write hamza on it. So you raise your hand. How do you write ba in Arabic? You write this, and you raise your hand to write a dot. So it's false.
Just a guess.
Thank you. You missed it. Anyone? By the way, something amazing. And scholars until nowadays are discussing whether it's something that revealed to them, was inspired to them. It's the curvature. Somebody would say that. I wanted to say that. You missed it. The curvature. The curve. All the letters are curved. Even the alif. If you can find any text that has alif and you enlarge it, you will find this alif is... Because everything that Allah created in the universe, except for the Sirat al-Mustaqim, right, has a curve. Everything. The sun, the moon, the humans, your eyes, your ears, everything Allah created has a curve. And I think the Arabs were so creative to discover this. Very creative to this. Try to challenge this. Go home, challenge it, and come back. You still have an opportunity to challenge. But this is really something beautiful. Yes, your hand, everything Allah created has some sort of curve. And that's why, how did the Arabs get this idea of making something like this? Was it inspired to them? Was it something that they came up with? No one would answer. Anyway, it's something very important in writing. And this is in natural life. That's why, by the way, kids write or draw the circle before they do the triangle or the box or whatever. Because doing a circle requires one muscle. Requires one muscle. Let me go back to our topic. When you teach the alphabet, you go to classrooms and you visit the teachers. What are you doing today? I am teaching letter ba. Good. The whole lesson, 40 minutes teaching letter ba. And another 40 minutes for teaching letter ta or letter tha. And the story continues, and the whole year is spent in learning the alphabet. And the teacher is so proud that she succeeded to teach the children the alphabet in a year, which is something that can be taught in 3 periods or 4 periods. All of it. All of it. When you get the right time, the timing for teaching it. And the problem is the teacher wants to do it as early as possible. The children are not there yet. If you wait for them until they reach age what? 7 perhaps, right? Or 6, it becomes very easy for them to learn it. Why? Because by this time, because they have played a lot, so they develop all the motor skills and the muscles, the fine muscles that they require, they need when they write. Becomes very easy. So when you talk about effective use of time, if you delay it a little bit, you can get it in a very short time. If you do it before the right time, you waste a whole year from the student. If you delay it a little bit, you can use this time to develop the oral fluency of the students. You can use it effectively if you know how to do this. Are you changing the curriculum that we are teaching at school? Yes. Are you saying that the curriculum at our school, that we use at our school, are not good? I say yes. What other questions do you have so that I would say yes? Yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. Yes, and it requires a group of people to be smart to say, no, we are going to make the change. We are going to make the change. We've seen our children. They speak English better than our native language in just few months. So there should be something going on in teaching that language that is different from ours. But even these questions, by the way, unfortunately, they are not raised in the minds of the teachers of Arabic. Just in the neighboring class beside them, there's another teacher who is teaching wonderful. The teacher just needs to step in to see what's going on to learn. But they don't want to learn. Now we're going to follow what our forefathers have done. Say, no. I've got used to this. I'm going to continue doing this. I'm not going to change. Because change requires effort. You've been here sitting for these long times. It's not an easy job. But in order to change, you have to do it. You have to get the medicine to be cured. If you don't get the medicine, you're not going to be cured. So some people don't want to get the medicine. So it's up to them. Let them suffer. And who is suffering? It's our children. Just by training one teacher, we can do lots of changes. I hope I'm trying to put the pieces together. Is it coming together or not yet? So it is communication and communication and communication. Anything apart from communication, keep it outside. When we talk about communication, the oral communication comes first. Then after that, it's up to you. Whether you focus on reading communication or writing communication, it's up to you. But this should come late. After we almost perfect our speaking. Okay, is this clear? I hope the meaning is clear and is flowing. I ask Allah to benefit us from this. And this is the end of this episode. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Little baby, pure and small.